Don't play with me, 'cause you're playing with fire. It's a horrible, horrible joke. I know. Come on, baby, light my fire. Fire. Boom, 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 boom. Way you walk and talk really sets me off. It's a 4-alarm child. Yes, it is. Boom, boom, boom. The way you scream, you please, knocks me to my knees. Yes, Bananas Foster is my favorite dessert. We do 1,000 versions of these. It's so simple and so easy. And look at that gorgeous rum sauce. It is so simple. But as we make our way out of winter and into a different time of year, I've kind of kicked my Bananas Foster game up a notch. As we're approaching spring and summer all over America, don't you feel like it's a new good time in our country? I kind of do. We have a lot of problems, right? But I sort of feel like there's hope is on the horizon. I like doing tropical fruit Foster. I got to be honest with you. And the best thing about it is that this dish is actually, because the sauce is sweet, is actually really good to make with turning mangoes, turning papayas, turning bananas, right? Beautiful dragon fruit. Pineapple that's not too overly ripe, that still has a tartness to it, because when it's cooked, it brings out the sweetness, knocks down the acidity, the tartness, and you're using sugar and rum in there, and it's just it's my favorite dessert. Clearly, I've eaten way too much of it during quarantine. Welcome to Andrew Zimmern Cooks Instagram Live Edition. We are making a tropical fruit Foster. We are doing it with a product from one of our sponsors. The good people at Flor de Caña have this beautiful 10-year-old rum. Let me tell you something. This is an incredible product for a lot of reasons. And I want to draw a really big one to you, and that is the brand sustainability, which is a huge, huge tentpole for this multi-generational company that makes some of the most delicious rum in the whole world. I think the most delicious, and I discovered it cooking with it, right? Flor de Caña is the most eco-friendly rum on the planet. They're certified carbon neutral and fair trade. They've been planting 50,000 trees. 50,000 trees since 2005. And this year they want to plant an additional 20,000 of them by working with the good folks at One Tree Planted. So here's the deal. I mean, go to your liquor store, look for this little, what do they call it, a neck hanger? What is it? I know what shelf talkers are. Is that technically a neck hanger? So all you have to do is scan the QR code on the bottle neck hanger, or visit their profile for more information on it. Flor de Caña is always looking for ways to push towards a greener and more sustainable future, and it's one of the reasons why I support them. And I cook with their product because it's so clean when you cook with it. It's so beautiful, it's aromatic. All the qualities of cooking with rum, whether it's in dessert or savory dishes, are there for me as a chef. But I keep coming back to them because of the way they run the company, and they're really great people. So please, please, please check out this partnership of theirs with One Tree Planted. Lots of cool things to do today, but let's get started with our fruit. First thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to put a relatively low heat underneath here, and I'm going to pull some fruit for this. I've got a champagne mango there that's yellow, means it's flavorful, but firm. Put a little dragon fruit in there, maybe a little diced papaya, and some pineapple. And we're just going to assemble our fruit that we're going to briefly saute in butter and brown sugar, and then flambe it with rum, and it takes about 3 minutes. That people are not making this every week all across America for dessert several times a week always surprises me. And the reason is that it's so fast and it uses up fruit that might otherwise go to waste, right? I do this, I mean, who doesn't like caramely rum sauce on vanilla ice cream?
We do.
Yes, we do. Vicky and Madeline, I force everyone at the office to eat Bananas Foster almost every day.
For breakfast.
It's one of the problems. Well, one of the real problems with working here is that I come in the morning early. We were doing some demos with crab yesterday. And I walked in this morning, and for breakfast, I decided I was going to have a crab salad. And I thought to myself, well, that's actually pretty healthy, and I'm a big dinner for breakfast guy. I'm not big on pancakes or French toast. By the way, these little champagne mangoes are incredibly, incredibly flavorful. I'm going to show you here. You can take both sides off. I think everyone knows how to cut a banana, but you can take the two sides off of the mango, and then starting right at the stem end, take a sharp knife and just take the peel off all the way around. Just go slow. You don't want to cut yourself. Just run that knife down. You just want to take the peel off. And you can then cut the fruit away from there, or what I do is I set them aside or give them to my kid who likes to suck all the meat off the almond-shaped seed that's in the middle of the mango. So you can actually...
I had to show you a picture of Naomi doing this.
Oh, you have a picture of her? Ah! We'll put that up. But there's this really thin seed in there, so you can see how much more meat is around there. So I really like letting someone snack on them. If you have kids in the family, it's really fun to let them handle it. And if you're an adult, it's really nice too. With mango, choke up on the blade. The reason is you want a lot of control. You don't want to pierce the inside of the mango. But all you need to do is make 2 cuts one way, 3 the other. Just put a little crosshatch in there. Don't pierce the skin. If you do, it's not the worst thing in the world. Just makes it a little tougher to get the mango flesh out. But then when you put a little pressure from the center up, you have these beautiful diamond-shaped pieces of mango that can go into your Bananas Foster, or Tropical Fruit Foster. It's going to take me forever to stop calling it the wrong thing. With papaya, same deal. You can use a vegetable peeler. I'm comfortable taking just a small bit of skin away with my knife. You want to get to the ripe part. So I'm just going to cut away. That papaya is so good for you. Save all this. These are nice knife skills to have. You should know how to cut fruit. And let's just cut that into little squares. Some nice, beautiful papaya. Let's see, taste how ripe this is. Mmm. Very sweet, very yummy. Okay. Dragon fruit. Take the top off there.
Where do you find fruit like this?
Oh, we got these at our local supermarket. Supermarkets these days, even the big box stores, are all carrying things like dragon fruit, papaya, mango, especially the champagne mangoes, all year long have been in all the big box stores that I shop at. It's funny, I go into some of them looking to buy my 2 cases of toilet paper and save money on that. And then I see in their limited areas that they have produce in, and now expanded areas, they're bringing in incredible fruits. They do big bulk buying. I mean, that's why we see these sumo tangerines there, right? You see that giant tower of sumo tangerines, or pomelos, or these small Ecuadorian papayas. They are everywhere. So all you got to do is open your eyes in that fruit and vegetable section.
How do you feel about organic versus regular fruit.
I buy organic wherever possible. I know it's a label. I know that label is purchased by companies. I know that it's not fresh-faced little, freckled youngsters picking cherries off the trees in Washington State. I actually know how it all works. However, and yes, there is a lot of controversy about, for example, in the world of strawberries, you can spray strawberry plants with chemicals up until the time they're flowering and still call them organic. So it's a little confusing for the consumer. However, I still would rather buy something with an organic designation than not. And the reason, of course, is because I have an extra layer of wellness factored in for my family. And I think that's really super important. With pineapple, just take down the outer core here.
What knife are you using?
This is a Shun petty knife. It's a 8-inch, 6, 7-inch. I mean, I was going to make an awful joke here that I really shouldn't. This looks to me to be about 6 inches. It's a little baby slicer or paring knife. I call these petty knives. They're not quite paring knives. They would be much smaller, and it's a great all-round handy knife. The reason that I like these from Shun is there's just enough room for my knuckles to get under. I can't cut the way I would with a chef's knife because my knuckles hit the ground, but every other operation, and what makes it really easy is that I can choke up on it and just use the tip. So it winds up being something that has extremely high value.
Matt Jennings wants to know, Champagne Mango was your college nickname.
Champagne Mango was my dance name when I was putting myself through college, Matt. Thank you very much, which is where he and I met. Boy, I hope my child and his boys are watching. All right, here we go.
People are loving your apron.
Oh, thank you. Yes, this seems to be everyone's favorite apron. I mean, thank God for my friend. If you're not following Salty Seattle on Instagram, my friend Linda Nicholson, incredible pasta artist, great follow on the IG. But she gave me this, which I absolutely love. One of my favorite aprons. Okay, so we have all of our fruit here. Let's take our mango off of the peel so that we're not hustling, because this dish, once it comes, by the way, all this fruit cutting you can do, an hour before your guests arrive. You don't need to do it at dessert time. You can have the kids cut their own fruit. Let them learn a kitchen skill or two, and that way you just handle the booze and the fire. My kid loves the fire involved in this.
Someone just saw your video with Senator Klobuchar, the hot dish bake-off.
Yeah, she cut hers. I actually had a conversation with Senator Klobuchar the Sunday before last. We were at an event together, and I was on a Zoom call with some of her people. I do a lot of work with her office, and everyone keeps bringing up how she is such a pro. She cut herself pretty badly on a can, wrapped it in a towel, finished the food thing. I mean, it's a tough Minnesotan. Remember, when she announced her candidacy for President of the United States, her run, she did so in 5 below weather with a huge snowfall coming down, no hat, just sitting there, and that was an amazing, amazing day. Okay, let's take this melty one. Don't think I'm not going to eat that, right? This will get eaten. But let us just take stock of everything that we have here. Let's unwrap our brown sugar. We always keep our brown sugar wrapped to the last minute because otherwise it gets all lumpy and crusty.
What
Sticks
are you
together.
making?
This is a tropical fruit bananas Foster. I'm going to add some lychee there. Why not? I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. And whoa. Okay, there's our ice cream. When I have guests over and I'm entertaining, I will pre-scoop some ice cream into a bowl, or 4 bowls, or 6 bowls, or 7 bowls. Put a few knobs of butter in there. You can guesstimate about an equal volume of sugar. And we let those cook together.
Could you do it with kiwi?
You know, it's interesting that you say that. Great question. I've never done it with kiwi, and I've never done it with dragon fruit. They're so soft, I think they might just turn to mush. I'm actually going to throw everything in, and literally the dragon fruit right before I sauce it. I'm going to be a smarty pants. I'm going to put a couple pieces of dragon fruit in there now and just pour the hot caramel on top of them, because I just don't think it's going to hold together in the caramel. Those are lychee. They've been peeled and seeded. You can see here, you cook your brown sugar and your butter until the sugar melts, and then you go about another 2-3 minutes. All you want to do is have the water, and yes, there is water in butter. Butter is like 6% water. So you want that butter, the water that's in the butter, to evaporate, and you want to start to pull that sauce together. The minute you add the fruit in there, it's actually going to start to emulsify. It needs that pectin in the fruit, or additional fats, like with cream, if you're making real caramel, to come together. But you can actually see here, now that the water is out, you can sort of smell the sugar caramelizing.
Can you use clarified butter?
Sure, why not? Just happen to have some lying around. In goes some pineapple. In goes some banana. In goes some papaya. My lychee. My mango. Boy, I'll tell you something. The combined acidity here with all of these fruits, the aroma as that hits the butter and sugar, is just unbelievable. You just want to warm the fruit through. If you cook it too long, you're going to wind up with jam. And when the rum goes in there, the sauce will continue to emulsify some more. As the juices come out of the fruit, it will start to emulsify. When I feel that it's warm on top, I know that I'm good to go. Now, if you are cooking over an open flame, you can just tip your pan into it, but I have a handy lighter. This is always everyone's favorite part of the whole thing, is just to be able to bring something like this to the table. Do that table side for your guests. They will be forever in your debt.
Are you cooking on low heat?
No, I've raised it up to what I would call the lower register of high. And I have a beautiful syrupy rum sauce in there, and I am just going to take that and pour that right on top of there. Look at that. I mean, that's good-looking stuff right there. Not gonna lie. That is the kind of thing that you want to serve for dessert, and it's so easy. By the way, you can use all your leftover underripe fruit. You can use your bruised and ugly fruit. You can use the fruit that's on sale that you were going to make jams or jellies with.
What about canned fruit?
Yeah, you can use canned fruit. I mean, it's a nice use for it. You may want to taste it first. You know, sometimes canned fruit comes with a lot of added sugars. And that's what worries me, is that they're in syrup already, so you may make something that's too sweet. Wow, is that beautiful. That was bad. A big dollop of ice cream and fruit went down in between my apron and my very suave, expensive black Italian t-shirt. Boy, is this fantastic. Now, a word about the rum. Why would I use one of the world's great bottles of booze, 10 years old, by the way, the good stuff, or sorry, 12-year-old, the aged stuff? Why would I use that? Well, I'm only using a couple of tablespoons for 3 or 4 portions of the product, of the final product, the sauce. And when you cook with alcohol or wine, you're amplifying the good flavors as it reduces and cooked, but you're also amplifying the bad flavors. And so many cheaper rums, or ones that are not made as persnicketedly as the Flor de Caña people make their rums, the problem is you wind up amplifying all these bad flavors. So you have bitter and off taste, you have fake sweet taste, you have all I'm getting there is a really clean caramel rum flavor. I just adore this stuff. I discovered this brand, well, I saw it in Nicaragua when I was down there for the first time 14, 15 years ago, and then took some home and started playing around with it in the kitchen and all my rum recipes, cakes and sauces and ice creams and all the rest of that. And I use it in savory cooking, reducing rum. We've done the recipe before. It's on our website, with rum with coconut milk, soy, star anise, and cinnamon. A couple other things. Reduced down to a glaze on fish when it's on the grill is incredible. I just love the way it performs in the kitchen. So I was a fan before they were a sponsor. I think they started sponsoring us because I was a fan. I would like to think so. Anyway, questions, comments, criticisms. What do you got, people?
Could you use a different kind of alcohol to make this?
Yes, if you want to use bourbon, if you happen to like that flavor, go ahead. If you want to use scotch, go ahead.
Spiced
Gin
rum.
wouldn't be so great. Spiced rum I stay away from. I'd rather see you use a clean, beautiful rum like this and then spice it yourself. How do I say this politely? That whole world of spiced rum, I don't want to yuck on your yum, but that's a very cheap rum with fake spice flavors put into it. So that's exactly the kind of product that when you cook with it, you will amplify the negative flavors that you actually can't taste when you're just drinking it straight.
I just want to say I did not write this question, but what is the best way to cook crab legs?
Steam them. Well, I shouldn't say that. I like to steam them. Then once you get competent enough at that, and depending on what kind of crab you're using, if you're using king crab legs, you want ones that don't have tripolyphosphates. Those are chemicals that hold water weight in the crab. You can steam them, and then as they have dried out a little bit, cut the shell open in a strip so that there's exposed leg meat, and then grill that is one of my favorite ways to enjoy king crab. King crab, lightly charred on the grill, is heaven, especially with a little bit of butter.
Can this be chilled for later, or does it have to be eaten on the spot?
Well, you can put it outside on the front porch for 5 months and come back and eat it. It just might not be that good. I know that sounds like a really smart, Alec-y answer to an earnest question, but it is one of those things. Yeah, you can make it ahead of time and then warm it up, but why would you? It tastes so good on its own. It's like scrambled eggs. Do you want to put them in the fridge overnight and then reheat them the next day? Sure you can. But the fun part is making scrambled eggs right away. First, it takes 2 minutes. This takes 2 minutes. Cut your fruit ahead of time. Just do the sauce to order. Scoop the ice cream into bowls ahead of time. But yeah, do the sauce with the fruit at the last minute. It takes 2 minutes.
what inspired your new kitchen in your house?
Well, thank you for asking. The trees that were on the property, it looks like northern Finland, and it reminds me of certain forests I've seen in Japan. So we went with the Japanese Scandinavian aesthetic. Super, super clean. Thanks to the folks at Pustelli and Gaggenau for making my kitchen dreams come true. We're going to be shooting more stuff over there, and magazines are coming in to do shoots and stuff like that. So you'll see a lot of my kitchen, I'm guessing, in the summer months.
Someone says that they always burn the caramel. So do you have any tips? What temperature do you
Don't
say the
cook it so
caramel
long.
Okay.
Let me tell you what I would recommend. When I'm teaching my 16-year-old to cook, right? He's getting pretty good. When I taught him to make caramel, the first one he burnt. So we cleaned the pan and we made another one. Now you don't always have that luxury when you're searing a piece of mahi-mahi or a pork chop, right? There may not be another one lying around, but it's just sugar and butter. So just start over and show him again. And I was showing him how to do it with white sugar, which is a little trickier. And we were making a real caramel where we were cooking the sugar until it was amber colored and wiping the sides with a brush, pastry brush with water to make sure that we didn't get any crystallization on the sides. And then hitting it with cream and butter, with our scotch and cream and butter, which is how we like to season it. And we did it 2 or 3 times until he got it, but because all it was butter and sugar. You just keep going. Do it 2 or 3 times in a row. You'll nail it. If it's burning, you're either one of 2 things are happening. You're turning away from it to get your other ingredients ready. You should have all your ingredients set right then and there. Because the minute your sugar, if you're making a true caramel sauce, if you're melting your sugar and you want to turn it to a color a little darker than this cutting board, what's super, super important is just have your other ingredients ready to stop that caramelization process. If it's burning, you're using too high a heat to begin with. I actually use a very low heat on the sugar when I'm making caramel.
Would you ever marinate a meat with mayo?
I thought you were about to say, would you marry me? The answer was going to be, Vicky, that's so weird. No, I would, or sorry, yes. I marinate a lot of meat with mayonnaise-based things. This last year, was it this year? I think it was this year. I rubbed my turkey with mayonnaise before it went into the oven rather than using butter, and it turned out beautifully. I use buttermilk, all kinds of things on poultry, yogurt, mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is an excellent thing to smear on the outside of bread before you make a grilled cheese sandwich. It gets an incredible crispy texture to the outside of the bread when it caramelizes in the pan, and it's awesome on poultry. So yeah, use it all the time.
If you could have any chef cook you a meal, who would it be?
Any chef? I worked with him a couple times at the beginning of my career. I last saw him 27 years ago, 2 years before he died. But I would want to cook with Jean-Louis Paladin, who to me he was a classicist, he was a modernist, he was a baller of a chef. I mean, this guy's food tasted, I don't even want to get started, but yeah, Jean-Louis Paladin. If you don't have his, but just Google Jean-Louis Paladin and gobble up everything you can about him.
Gas or electric stoves? What do you prefer? Which
Gas
is best for controlling temperature?
Well, gas is, but the problem that most cooks have with electric, this is induction, so let's call this electric, right? They forget that if you want to turn down the heat, you don't hit this button 20 times. All you do is move it. So when I'm cooking, if I go to a friend's house and I'm cooking chicken breasts and we're inside, I will put one burner on high and one on medium, and I will bounce between them because I know that's at medium, right? So I can drop the temperature down, but keep cooking right away just by moving the pan. So if you have electric, move the pan.
What's your favorite fruit?
My favorite fruit? Oh gosh, that's the perfect summer strawberry.
Why are you so passionate about sustainability?
Because if we don't sustain our planet, we won't be able to sustain our species. And we're killing our planet. I mean, that's the cheapest answer. We need to be sustainable in everything in our lives. We need to be creating sustainable economic models in our businesses, like restaurants. And that means that we have to have sustainable foods and sustainable business practices, like paying everybody one fair wage and making sure that everyone has, paid maternity leave, and making sure that the dishwashers in the back earn the same kind of living that the servers in the front do, right? I mean, we have to, equity and the restoration of it is a key tentpole of sustainability. With, biological and ecological sustainability, we have to take care of our planet before it kills us by not being able to support life anymore. We're very close to that point. My friend Alexandra Cousteau has launched her Oceans 2050 campaign, but as she told me the other day on a Zoom call, if we don't make the changes that we need to make by 2030, there will be no 2050 when it comes to oceans. We will have killed off too much of them and too many species. So there is a real urgency right now. I'm really excited about the two generations that have come after me in life. The one in between my son and I, and my sons. I had children late in life. And my son's generation, because I believe that those two generations are going to take care of our planet. They understand the urgency involved, and they would like to be walking around without gas masks on the streets of New York City with their grandchildren 50 years from now.
Who has inspired you the most when it comes to food?
Inspired me the most? My parents, my grandmother, my family, a lot of my friends' parents. My friend Clark's mom, Elizabeth, taught me as much about cooking as anyone, and I make a ton. I make her tarragon chicken. I make her chicken wings. I make her shabu shabu. I make a ton of her dishes, almost verbatim. So yeah, lots of people, mostly women.
Do you prefer cast iron or a carbon steel pan?
They're for two completely different things. A very thin carbon steel pan will transfer high heat, and you can do a high hard sear more efficiently there. Cast iron controls the heat better. It loads the heat slower, but it sustains it longer. I use both, by the way.
Or can I rewatch Bizarre Foods?
Discovery Plus. Go get Discovery Plus. I think it's still 7-day free trial. My new show, Magnolia, on Magnolia Network, Family Dinner is there. It's a fantastic program. I think you'll all enjoy it. All of my show, Driven by Food, the Emmy Award-winning Zimmern list, Bizarre Foods, Delicious Destinations, Bizarre Foods America, Bizarre World. I mean, all of the sub-series and spin-offs and, All-Star Academy that I did for Food Network is on there. So tons of content for people at Discovery Plus. Please go there and watch the shows. Tell all your friends. I'd like to have a job next year.
We have many people asking about your best memory or a story of Anthony Bourdain.
Wow. So many, and I always tell the same one, so I'm trying to think for a second about a new one. Well, concerning the TV business, I was actually telling a young chef that we're working with at our production company this story the other day. I was shooting a TV commercial with Tony in Brooklyn. a couple of years after we were both at Travel Channel, and someone was talking about how much integrity they were bringing to their job in the television industry, and rather than just eviscerating them right then and there in front of the crew, which I thought he was going to do, he just turned to me and with a lot of very salty language, explained to me that once you sign a contract with a television network, you've already lost all your integrity. You have sold your soul. It's a Faustian bargain. He and I agreed that it was, but one that we would willingly do again and again and again, because the opportunity to reach the most people. I mean, we were on Travel Channel at a time where Travel Channel was carried in 160 countries around the world. So a lot of people got to see. It's a massive platform, so you get to change a lot of hearts and minds. So we both agreed that we would very gratefully make that Faustian deal over and over again, many, many, many times. But the idea that you maintain your integrity once you take a paycheck for anything is a falsity that both of us recognized, and still to this day remains one of my funnier moments. The first thing that he said to me when we met again, because we had met as young cooks in New York. He was a couple years ahead of me at Vassar College. We were both recovering junkies. We were both cooks in New York City at the same time. So we were sort of around each other as young men. But when I started at Travel Channel, I met him at a picture-taking session, and he, hey, how are you? I think I recognize. Yeah. And then we played a little, culinary geography there. And I started to engage him in more conversation. And he looked at me and he said, "We can be friends if you last one full season," and walked away from me. Still one of my favorite memories. We got another one?
And this is really broad. Someone's asking, what is your best food to cook?
The food that I cook the best?
Yes.
I don't know what that would be. I do so many things so well. You know what I like recently, and it's something that I took on during the pandemic. While everyone else was cooking sourdough bread, I started doing big, complex 2-day builds in my kitchen. So classics like veal Prince Orloff, where you stuff a whole veal breast. You make the rice and the sous vide and the sauce, and you go through this whole process. I mean, it takes 2 days to make this dish. JP who runs culinary at Passport, our hospitality company, started doing, curing and smoking sturgeon, curing and smoking ham hocks, making our own bacon. I mean, you sort of take on the things that you never had the time to do because you're around every day. You can watch it. If it seems like it's going to over cure, boom, into the smoker. So that was the kind of thing that we did. Next week, I completely forget what it is that we're making. Do you remember what we're making, Madeline? It's before Easter. Oh, we're doing something with lamb, right? Something yummy with lamb?
Yep.
Reminds me, I better send you the recipe. Madeline's not laughing. Recipe for today's tropical fruit foster is on our website at andrewzimmern.com. Please support our sponsors, the good folks at Schoon, and of course, Flor de Caña, our rum of choice for whenever anyone wants to get, absolutely El Tropicale, we pour a few fingers of fresh squeezed orange juice over some chipped cubes off a giant block and a few glugs of Flor de Caña 12-year-old. At least that's what Madeline and Vicky do when it's 5 o'clock around here. Thank you to all of you for tuning in. I can't wait to see you next week. Watch Family Dinner, subscribe to Discovery Plus, go to YouTube, check out all the old recipes and shows. We're loading, yes, we load AZ Cooks on there, but we're putting 2 or 3 things a week on, Vicky's nodding, 3 things a week up there. So there's lots of cool stuff, and we're shooting lots of content every week that we're loading up there as quickly as we can. Support our causes on our partners page. Get ready. I mean, Passover weekend, baby. First night coming up, get go to andrewzimmern.com and download all your Passover recipes. You guys have a great weekend.